Okay, Rosemary, this is a repeat and addition to a previous video I did on what to do in the event of a backup, of a heat pump failure and no heating. So you have the first thing is something I highlighted in my previous video, and I'm going to highlight again because it's ultra important. When I got here this time, this switch here was off and it says keep on always. Leaving this switch on does absolutely nothing until the heat pump decides to turn on immersions. So always leave that on. It's vital for frost protection, it's vital for backup and everything, and it uses no electricity when it's on unless the heat pump decides to switch it on. In addition, these two switches weren't previously labelled as do not switch off, but these should be left on always also. And in the event that you wanted to switch off the heat pump outside, you could put the heat pump into backup or second heat generator mode by pressing this top middle button, the modus button. So your backups for the system are, in the event of a fault on the heat pump, sometimes it will bring on the buffer tank immersion anyway, which is a 3 kilowatt backup, as opposed to the heat pump outside, which is about a 10 kilowatt. So if you're ever in backup mode, which I'll be describing to you shortly, you need to leave the stats then always, you know, set them to 18 or whatever you need them to, and press the hold button. You won't be able to utilize the night and day rate, because when you have only 3 kilowatts, you need to run it as long as you can. Okay, so you have two backups. The first is for heating, and again, I'm going to emphasize again, these switches should always be on. That's the compressor supply, the heat pump compressor supply, the heat pump controller supply, and this is for the immersions. And they should be always on, and they will consume no electricity apart from those little lights which wouldn't use 10 cents in a year, unless the heat pump decides to switch on stuff. So if the heat pump is in fault, you can put it into second heat generator mode by pressing the top middle button called the modus button, and every time you press that, it changes. So you would press it until you get to second heat generator and then leave it go at that, and this top black square will move. But I'm going to put it back there now and leave it in auto, which is the just the normal mode. When it's in second heat generator mode, it disables, it'll say heat pump lock, and it disables the heat pump, and it uses this buffer tank for heating the building, which is only 3 kilowatts instead of 10. In addition, for hot water, you have this immersion switch up here, up above the heat pump controller, and at present it's in auto mode, but if you push that to the on position, then it will turn on the immersion up in the attic space to give you hot water also. So that's how to utilize the backup in the event of emergency. It'll give you 3 kilowatts, which should keep it may take a little time to get the house up, but it will keep it going. Okay, that's it. And as previously mentioned, there are two breakers out in the main breaker board. They need to be checked also in the event of having no heat, to make sure they're on. They're labeled as heat pump breakers.